Hello everyone, welcome today. So this will be the review for NF Audio's Assassin's Creed Mirage. I talked about this earphone a few weeks ago when I did the unboxing. So today you will now hear my opinion on the sound quality. First of all, a big shout out to NF Audio for sending this out for a review for you guys on the channel. Now, once you get the product, you get good accessories in the box. You get ear tips, you get this DSP cable that I have detached. That's the cable it actually comes with. Now, you might wonder why I'm using a proper 3.5 millimeter cable on it. The reality is that the earphone sounds a lot better when it's plugged to a source like an amplifier or a DAC amplifier. It's a hell of a lot better than this stuff that it came with. This thing is almost limiting its full potential. That is why I had to take it off. But other than that, the earphone looks beautiful. It has a gold finish to its shell. It is made out of high-end aluminum. Like the shell is high quality. Now, in terms of sound, this is a V-shaped earphone. It is V-shaped. It has a lot of mid bass, and a decent amount of mid range, but not the most spectacular, but it's a very good mid range. Now, one thing I will say about this earphone that beats out so many earphones in the $100 category is that it has a freaking great smooth sound signature. I think it has the best smooth sound signature I've heard in any earphone under $100. The only issue it has is that the drivers is small. The drivers in here is what is limiting this earphone of being the best earphone you can buy under $200. It's the only thing that I can find that is keeping it away from hitting its full potential. The drivers, I think, is 6 millimeters in size. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's the biggest driver. The reason I say this is that even though it's a bassy earphone, it has bass and a lot of slam for some music. The problem it had was for movies. There's some frequencies that can happen in your games or your movies in the lower register that if the drivers are not big enough, like a 10 millimeter, 15 millimeters, or 13.6, something big in size, it has the tendency to distort and it could spoil the drivers inside the earphone. So that's the only knockoff I'll give this earphone, is that they made it for gaming, but if you really want to game with it and you use a proper DAC amplifier that can feed it great signal, you have to be very careful about your volume knob. It's not that kind of earphone that will scale so much in volume. It's very easy to drive, but if you play something too loud that has a lot of energy in the low frequency, you can spoil the drivers here quickly. So that's what I would tell you. I heard it while I was watching Despicable Me in 4K UHD, Dolby Atmos. I was playing it through this earphone. It sounded insane. But when it got to a scene where there was a very, very solid low rumble, I heard a distortion. And I knew is the driver that could not handle that low frequency. And the way I knew this is that I took out the earphone, I skipped back a bit to that same scene. I put the triple win Linus to play that same scene because the triple win Linus has always been my earphone for movies, hardcore, anything movies or games for several years now. So I played that same scene and the Linus handled it like a champ. It never got to distort, and then I realized that the earphones driver is the only thing limiting it from reaching its full potential. But it's a very good sound signature. It's smooth. It doesn't have issues with sibilance. It doesn't give you any fatigue. So if you're someone that is apprehensive about fatigue, you're gonna like this earphone. You're not gonna have issues whatsoever with fatigue. The cable is for me useless, although the cable I'm now using it for another earphone that I'm going to review next for you guys. And I actually think the earphone is good. The cable is good for some earphones, but I just didn't really like it for this earphone at all. I really didn't like it for the RG15, but I'm using this USB-C cable with another earphone that I'm going to review next for you guys. So what I will say is that the RG15 is a decent gaming earphone. It's decent for gaming and movies, but you should not in any way play your movies so loud on this model, because you could damage the driver. The driver is not of the best quality and of the how will I put it, the biggest size to handle low frequency energy. Yes, it has bass. It's even elevated. When I hear it, I can tell that this is a bassy earphone. But when it hits some certain low frequency register, it can distort. So that's the only thing I would give it as a negative. But other than that, I like the earphone. It is going to just stay as my daily driver, just for casual listening, podcast, and maybe making phone calls. That's what it's going to say. That is why I had to swap out the cable to something that can work with all my devices, my smartphone, my tablet, all devices that run with 3.5 millimeters. This USB-C, I'm not a big fan of cables that just come with USB Type-C, because not every device has this USB-C thing. There are legacy devices that people use, or even older devices that they can't just use USB-C for. So that's just the reason why I'm just going to relegate the cable for other earphones that I might not even use as my daily driver. But other than that, it's a very good product. I like it very much. So if you enjoy this report and this review, make sure you subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, follow us here on our channel. I'll see you guys very much next time.